But before we start the review, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment below and join the discussion. Also, don't forget to tune in for the Korean Bloggers podcast, which happens every Monday and Thursday.
Everything is connected, like, but you feed into it because you've been given this illusion that, that's not cool.
Right.
By whose standards.
Right.
Hello, Cellulites. Welcome back to CellReviews. This is Statistics TV, and today we have a new album by Rapsody, and it's called Eve. Now, Rapsody, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't know who she was, and the reason why I wouldn't blame you is because it's not as if she's getting the mainstream shine that your other female contemporaries are actually receiving, such as your Megan Thee Stallion, such as your Cardi B or your Nicki Minaj. In fact, she probably is receiving a lot more now for the fact that Cardi B actually called her out, especially after the Jermaine Dupri incident.
And you mentioned other female rappers. Do you have a favorite right now in the rap game?
Cardi B, Nicki, Megan Thee Stallion. Stand out to you?
I can't really say.
Not a Cardi B fan?
The reason why I can't say is because I feel like they all rapping about the same thing, and I don't feel like I don't think they're showing us who's the best rapper. I think they're trying to show, for me, it's like strippers rapping.
Cardi B actually put her on and say, no, you need to go listen to Rapsody, you need to go listen to, can't remember the other artists that she mentioned, but I do remember her mentioning Rapsody. She has added a lot of impact in the game. Latest Wisdom was pretty much the introduction that everyone had to her, in which received a lot of praises. It was a critically acclaimed album, Grammy nominated for a debut album. That's quite big. She has been pushed up the bar now. I wouldn't be surprised if she's now saying I'm going for the Grammy, simply because of the fact that she's decided to name the tracks of this album after inspirational females over the decade, over the century, I would say, maybe, and also some from the 18th century and some from the 19th century, and also tell their story, like how they embody her, if that makes sense, how she embodies them, if that makes sense. This album, in my own honest opinion, signified a rebirth of Rapsody in a way. It's as if she has rediscovered herself. She is now coming into her own, and there's a lot of growth here from Latest Wisdom. Now, the first track, Nina, it was actually it represents Nina Simone. She was also the first woman to actually use her platform as a singer at the time, R&B and soul singer at the time, to use that to actually voice the racial injustice that was happening in the 50s with the civil rights movement. In this track, Rapsody revealed how Nina inspires her, and this is also she revealed this through the way she even dresses and how she's influenced how she should carry herself. She alluded to this in this track by saying, I've made it this far without having to take off my clothes, and that's a skill. And when she says things like this, it reminds us why we love her, because of her authenticity, because of how self-aware she actually is. Not just that, she also brought the lyrical ability in this album to really match. She also provided social commentary as well, is when she referenced the sunken place. We all know what a sunken place is. If you watch Get Out, you would definitely know. For her to quote Jordan Peele there was to me was quite good. The standout lyric for me was when she said, I am Nina and Roberta, the one you love but ain't heard of. Now, when she said ain't heard of, I was immediately, my theory mind came on. I was immediately thinking, what does she mean by ain't heard of? I've heard of Nina Simone. So I started looking up who Roberta was, because who the hell is Roberta? Is it Roberta from the Cleveland show? No, her name is Loretta. I started to do some more research, and the first thing that came up was Roberta Flack. She actually made her name in 1971 when she was a member of the Legendary Soul the Soul concert film by Dennis Sanders. It has stars such as Ike and Tina Turner, Carlos Santana, who, if you don't know who Carlos Santana is, he's a legendary guitarist from Mexico. He was also responsible for the track Maria Maria, which was actually remixed now into Wild Thoughts. These were the headliners for this show. And funny enough, like that I should actually mention Tina Turner and Ike Turner. The reason why Tina Turner is because she actually referenced her in the track as well, saying that she is as fine as Anna Mae. I don't doubt that, because Tina Turner is still looking as she was looking fine as hell. I don't know why I said like that. In the same year, Roberta Flack in 1971, she was actually regarded as the most significant black singer since Aretha Franklin. This is Aretha Franklin. Like, she is a legend. We know that. And she was regarded as that. And for me not to hear of her, it's mind-boggling. I'm very surprised that I've never heard of this woman before. She's also received 9 Grammy nominations. She's also won 4 Grammys, one being for Record of the Year in 1973 for the track The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face, as well as the Best Vocal and Duo Performance or Group with Donny Hathaway, in which if you are into your soul and R&B, Donny Hathaway is the king of that. He done a lot in his time. I remember, like, my parents always raved on about him, and when I was trying to tell my parents about Layla Hathaway, the first thing that they thought was Donny Hathaway. So, like, saying, no, I know more about Donny. Layla Hathaway is actually the daughter of Donny Hathaway, who is making music now and sounding simply amazing. Like, it must be hard to try and live up to the expectations that has been set by not set by him, but the legacy that Donny Hathaway has left must be different for her, like, because it's a great legacy. But yeah, for Roberta Flack to have a duo, to be in a duo with Donny Hathaway is a big deal, is what I'm trying to say here. In 1974, she also won Record of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Performance for her track Killing Me Softly with His Song, which was sampled by the Fugees, which Lauryn Hill was part of. She actually sang that she actually sang that hook. When I learned all of this, my mind was blown, simply because of the fact that not only was this a great lyric with so much layers, yet again, just like the sunken place I mentioned before, it was also extremely layered in the sense that reflects the album and why you need to search for these women, and why you need to actually look up these women. And also, most importantly, it got me theorizing, is this some kind of social commentary that no matter how much Roberta has achieved, like 9 Grammy nominations is not an easy feat. Winning 4 of them is not an easy feat. Working with Donny Hathaway is really not an easy feat. And for you to make the track in which Rapsody's idol, someone who she looks up to in terms of Lauryn Hill, sampled, and all of this came to me because I was researching Nina Simone, because Nina Simone, the associate acts with Nina Simone is actually Roberta Flack. It was ingenious, and it got me actually, like I said, it got me theorizing, hey, what's going on? Because let's be honest, like, the mainstream rappers that we all know, like your Kendrick, your Kanye West, your Jay-Z, all those people that have really been praised and pushed by the mainstream, we don't, like, the ones that we still know of, like your Redman, like your Method Man, like your Nas, who are not really prevalent in the media, but we still, like your Fabulous, like your Game, Jeezy, so many of these artists that we know off the rip, off the top of our heads, we just know who they are, and we research for them. Busta Rhymes, even, like those guys, not really in the mainstream, but we know about them. We research for them, and we still talk about them, even though the media is not talking about them. The fact that we don't do the same for Roberta is kind of what I think she was getting at. I think that she was trying to say that women are often overlooked, and this album is what goes. This is why I said that this is the perfect track that actually sets the tone for the entire album, because this is actually a fair commentary to have if that's what she was actually going for. I don't know, this is a theory by me. If that's what she was actually going for, it's a good commentary to have, because I'm guaranteed if I say Roberta Flack to you, no one's gonna know who she is, but we all know who Nina Simone is, we all know who Tina Turner is. They're legends, but so is she. For you to achieve the amount that she has achieved, you're a legend. But again, no one is looking for her. If what I'm saying is making any sense, I hope it is, but that's what I'm trying to get at. According to the interview, Cleo was inspired by the movie Set It Up, which stars Jada Pinkett Smith, Vivica Fox, Blair Underwood, Dr. Dre, and Queen Latifah, which, funny enough, she also appears on this album. Spoilers if you didn't know. This track alone, especially with the In the Air Tonight sample, it gave it the much needed aura, the much needed energy to kind of get you to show you that rigor, that grit, that anger, that righteous anger. I call it righteous because it's not as if she is just blowing off the handle and just losing everything. It's quite well thought out. It's quite understandable why you would go mad, and it kind of resonates. It kind of transitions well from Nina Simone simply because of the, like I said, the Roberta Flack lyric in that entire album, in which she's now transitioning it, making it seem like she might suffer the same fate that Roberta Flack has suffered. She could win, she can do so many things, she can have whatever impact that she has, and yet she might fade into oblivion despite all she's done. And if she's not in the mainstream, that's what is actually at risk to happen. And I believe her. I think that this would actually happen with Rapsody if she doesn't, if she's not in the mainstream, like your Nina Simone, like your Tina Turner, for example. I think that it's more likely to her. And the reason, and she beautifully said this in the track, because you don't have people that look like her in the powerful positions now. You don't have it. It does bring attention to how unfairly stacked and rigged this game is towards the opposite gender, because end of the day, yes, she is absolutely correct. They don't have people in those positions that could actually do set up for more women to come through, and also set up so that they can actually pioneer women and continue to push them in the mainstream. So yeah, it does represent that side that is blowing off top, and shows a lot of frustrations. Our bar game on this track was undefeated. My favorite track out of the entire discography, in my opinion. This track is literally unbeaten. Cleo, I play in live sets. Literally a really, really good track. It also, and also in a way, like, you know, there were so many lyrics out here that were standing out. I think the Jay-Z lyric was probably the most standout lyric here, where she said Jay-Z gave us titles and we giggling at him. Damn shame. So she didn't just take a jab at the fact that there's no women in powerful positions. She also took a jab at how artists are actually treating themselves. It's as if they don't care about the art they do. Someone who is actually who is actually trying to help you, actually trying to create a platform in which you can actually earn more for being an artist than what you're currently getting now, and they are treating him as a joke. Even now, they're turning on Jay-Z in terms of the NFL, the fact that he signed that deal with the NFL, which in my honest opinion is a very good deal, because he now has control over the halftime shows in the Super Bowl, and he gets to put on the acts that he wants to put on. So he gets to actually have that controlling say in saying, I want to put this person on. So Rapsody, who is actually signed to Rock Nation, can always be an influence to Jay-Z and actually say to Jay-Z, hey, I put more women on. Like even Beyonce could actually say the same thing. And now this gives the artist the platform to shine.
I want to know how you could partner with a league on social justice when Colin Kaepernick, who brought it to the attention of the masses by peacefully protesting against social injustices, is still out of a job.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that I think we take it back. I think that we forget that Colin's whole thing was to bring attention to social injustice, correct? So in that case, right, this is a success, right? This is the next thing, right? Because there's two parts of protesting. You go outside and you protest, and then the company or the individual say, I hear you. What do we do next, right? So for me, it was like actionable item. What are we gonna do with it? Like, everyone heard, and we hear what you're saying, and everybody know, I agree with what you're saying. So what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So reach millions and millions of people, or we get stuck on Colin not having a job.
It might seem distasteful, but in the long run, there is nothing here but benefits. Like, it brings a lot more light to hip hop, which I'm pretty sure we all want, and it brings a lot more light to artists that are on the fringes and can even make more. And like I said, women artists can now perform and get onto the mainstream a lot easier. So I don't see anything wrong with it, but I do see why she said what she said in that track, because a lot of people are just, it is a damn shame that people don't see the longevity that Jay-Z plays and not really the short-term gratification. Tyra is a song that is dedicated to black. It's a song that is dedicated to Black beauty. We know Tyra Banks as the offshoot of Naomi Campbell, who she really took modeling to a new height. She really made it more entrepreneurial. The standout lyric in this track that actually stood up to me a lot was when she said she's so fine. Like, Rapsody is talking about herself, saying she's so fine that a blind man would whistle. It actually got me thinking, can blind men actually notice beauty? A research by The Independent, which is actually a newspaper in the UK, that has been conducted an investigation where 4 blind people took part to describe what beauty is to them. And damn, that was I kind of wish it was 3 people, because the 3 blind mice, and there was one participant who was in his 30s. He said he loves it when people tell him that his wife is hot or a looker, which suggests that his perception of beauty is from others, which in this song, I guess it does present the idea that everyone knows Rapsody is beautiful, so this blind man perceiving her may have been captivated. This one of the participants, also known as Mac, who was born blind, says that he always tried to be presentable, and people often tell him he's slim and has soft hair, which, to be fair, the hair part he probably knows due to the heightened senses that occurs when someone is either deaf or blind. So if you're blind, your sense of touch will improve, so I guess he would know his hair is soft, etc. It does bring me to my next point, where he also says in the interview that other senses kicks in and says tenderness, smoothness, the shape, using his senses to determine how beautiful a person is by their figure. It's also used, which made me think, is this blind man was he touching Rapsody and feeling her up, etc.? I really don't know. I don't think she actually even alluded to that. So this would discount that kind of finding from that experiment. One of the blind participant, which is a black man, in this case probably in his 40s, says that he doesn't see it as visual beauty. That he receives it as the way as they project to me. There was something that was key that was said during this whole investigation that would make the blind man whistle and tie up this whole entire theory. Unless you're blind and deaf, hearing Rapsody's voice, right, that soulful appeal, the classy intent, the air-bringing voice, hearing what she had to say regarding women, etc., made me think that it's not that the man saw her beauty. You can't actually see your beauty. It's the opposite. He saw her beauty. The reason he whistled, it was because of the way he spake about herself and of women, with lines like "black woman on your arm worth more than crystals," or "you're looking like a winner. Remember, I ain't ever had dough, but walk like I got cause, my blood mixed with gold." And compiled with the chorus, "Damn, I'm studying. I'm fine to the bone. Sweet like honey, he fine to the bone. Walk through looking like something we fine to the bone." If I'm hearing things like this, I'll be like, because it's beautiful. And believe me, my vision is 2020, but the beauty that she's talking about here when she referenced the blind man is actually, you will see me both for my inside being beautiful and for my outside being beautiful. Like, I just love the wordplay here that she does. This may have been a loose kind of theory in terms of the blind people, but I just love how she layered it like this. There's so many layers in this album you're gonna love. Afeni was possibly the best closing to this entire album, because Tupac has always been a person who has always been for female rights. Not just Tupac, but also Common as well, but mainly but in obviously the topic of discussion today is Tupac Shakur, because Afeni Shakur was the mother of Tupac. We know Tupac to be the person, to be the first guy to write a track about his mom and giving her props, and a lot of people are just following suit now and just doing that. But yeah, Tupac Dear Mama was the track that pretty much brought that in. There was so many, despite everything that Afeni Shakur was suffering from, for a drug problem, etc., Tupac always stood by her. He never really abandoned her to her side, and he always vocalized that, defending her light, etc. It was such a fitting end to, I guess, this kind of history lesson, I guess. Packy was the best example on how to treat women, on his mindset when it came to women was it was positive, always positive. Some may not agree, but you cannot say that he wasn't always positive to it. Obviously there are other clips where it says,
seen guys speak to women with this much respect, and I deplore that. My mother is just totally, I grew up, my mother raised me, so I have this much respect for women, and I fight often because of that, and it gives me a lot of friends. I mean, I get a lot of friends but I get a lot of friends because I have respect for women, ultra respect for women. But then, I was liking this girl in Tam, and I'm extra nice, extra gentleman. I'm extra just oh, you're beautiful and you deserve the best. And she told me I was too nice. I couldn't believe it. It wouldn't work because I was too nice. That was the ultimate stab in the back. So I went through a week of just going, forget it, I'm just gonna be like them. Because they seem to get the girls, and they call girls the B word.
Eventually.
Bitches ain't shit. We don't love them hoes, and it's like that.
Yeah, I'll leave you guys to decipher on that. I recommend that you go out and purchase the vinyl version of this. You just don't just stream this. It doesn't deserve to be streamed. It deserves you need to buy a physical copy of this and treasure it, because this album is simply breathtaking. It's from start to end, you won't skip a track. Maybe not even that. No, you're not gonna skip any track. I was gonna say maybe Ibtihaj, but or Maya, but I don't think so. I think both tracks are all the tracks in this are so well done, so well put. The final score for this, I gave it a 92 out of 100. I've never heard such a complete project since The Book of Ryan, in my opinion. The Book of Ryan, which was released last year, was possibly the album of the time that was really incredible. Same thing with Damn as well in 2017. I gave that a 91, I believe. But this album is ahead of its time, and I hope it empowers more women to make albums and take it as seriously as Rapsody has, because the step that she's taken to with this album is a blueprint, I believe, that should be shared by a lot of these artists. Thank you so much for checking out this review. I'm curious to know your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of the album? What did you think of the breakdown? I honestly don't have any swipes with the album. I think it is a perfectly crafted work of art. Obviously, if you want to critique everything and be anal about everything, you will always find faults everywhere, but I can't fault this album. I think it's a work of art. so many theories spawned from this album that I do want to go into more detail on. But overall, it's a real work of art, and honestly, Eve represents a new beginning. Like Adam and Eve, obviously, like when you look at it, it goes back to Genesis. It goes back to the first woman on earth. Like, goes back to new beginning. That's all these messages is what I received, and yeah, like you're not gonna regret listening to his album. You're gonna regret not listening to it, and I would implore you to go listen to it. So anyway, but yeah, I'm curious to know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next review. Peace.